Today is May 7th, 2025, and take a look at the latest headlines with me. India and Pakistan's nuclear arsenals compared, and that is because there are concerns of nuclear war starting as of today, and there are rumors of World War III because of the potential nuclear attacks that we are hearing warnings of. Take a look at some more of the headlines coming out today. May 7th, 2025, Pakistan calls India's strike an act of war. We're hearing that they are saying they are at war now, and it claims that it shot down an Indian jet fighter. And like I said, we're hearing warnings of all-out war and nuclear war threats. Here's another headline coming out. World War III fears as India fires missiles at Pakistan, pushing rivals to the nuclear brink. And we are hearing that there are hundreds of nuclear weapons that are at the disposal of both of these nations that are neighbors. And one of them has a nuclear code. The other one does not, that they reserve the right to attack however they see fit. And take a look at this coming out today as well. Trump asks India, Pakistan to stop now as tit for tat is done. Says he's ready to help out. Donald Trump trying to de-escalate the potential of nuclear war and World War III. Now, like I said, I'm going to share with you the latest video footage and articles so you can see it for yourself as we're hearing that these strikes are taking place. Things are escalating. There's major concern of all-out war, nuclear war, unfolding between India and Pakistan. So I'm going to dive into the latest articles coming out today, May 7th, 2025, so that way you can see it for yourself, know exactly what is going on, and as always, all of the sources I'm referencing, they are cited with hyperlinks down in the description below so you can read them for yourself. All you got to do right now is Google search Pakistan and India. You will see this everywhere. However, they're going to be hyperlinked down below. I'm also going to put it on the screen, read directly from it, so that way you can see it for yourself and know and rest assured that this is the latest. Now, if you appreciate that, before we dive in, do me a quick favor, hit that like button. Help spread this out further so more people can get the latest updated information with the conflict going on between India and Pakistan. In addition to that, if you want to stay up to date on this and everything else going on in the world, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If this is your first time here, stay up to date on everything. I'll cite all the sources, put it on the screen, let you know the latest, and we're going to just dive into the details of everything going on. And let me know your thoughts. Are we about to see massive war erupt between Pakistan and India? If so, put yes in the comments. If no, put no. And like I said, Donald Trump right now coming on the scene saying that they need to stop this, trying to see if they can put an end to the conflict that is taking place between these two nations. But let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up with the latest so that way you can see it for yourself with what is unfolding with massive strikes and concerns of potential nuclear war between India and Pakistan. Let's go ahead and start off with some video footage so that way you can see it for yourself.
Watch this story. India striking back against Pakistan. This in retaliation for a deadly terror attack in Kashmir that happened about 15 days ago. Pakistan vowing to retaliate, raising the specter of an all-out war. Here's what the president said about it last evening from the Oval Office, 5 p.m. East Coast time.
It's a shame. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quickly.
The State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce is with me now, and thank you for your time and good morning to you. What can you tell us as to whether or not it has escalated overnight or whether things are calming down at this point?
Well, what I can tell you is, of course, that everyone, we see this kind of moving forward after that horrible attack. And at the same time, Secretary Rubio, as he's noted at the State Department X account, and certainly as I was watching it unfold as well, and hearing the conversations, he spoke with the national security individuals for both countries last night. His point to them was to make sure that lines of communication should stay open, that he would be able to help facilitate whatever they needed to have facilitated regarding communication to make sure that did not break down. down, and also, of course, for both of them to not escalate. The world is watching, as you've noted, and as everyone knows, this has been going on for generations. And one thing we can say certainly that is the world understands from President Trump and from Secretary Rubio is that they want these generational wars and problems to end. And the way, clearly, the status quo has not worked. And the way to do it is, in fact, through the vision and the handling and the insight of Donald Trump and the people that surround him. So it is good that, we're involved in the sense of assisting a kind of a communication as occurred last night and to touch base with both of those parties. And, of course, they know we want no escalation, but we're here to assist making sure that their communication is maintained.
There is contact. There's in communication. That's why I'm hearing from your answer. A couple of things for our viewers.
Yes, exactly.
Nuclear warheads in India, 210. They got the bomb in the 1970s. Pakistan, 200. They got the bomb in 1998. Two of the three wars fought between these two countries were fought over what is considered sacred land in the northern part of India, known as Kashmir. 15 days ago, you had 26 Hindu tourists going on a pilgrimage to what they consider a sacred area. It's called the Meadow. And they were gunned down by tourists. And according to the Associated Press, some of the men were gunned down while their wives were watching. Are you urging restraint on behalf of India, or is there a sense of understanding for a response? What's our position?
Well, the president has said constantly that military violence, war does not solve, it's pretty obvious, doesn't solve any of these problems. They continue. And our message, certainly from the beginning, for his last term and this term, unfortunately, with the condition the world was left in by the last administration, is the president has had to engage in multiple situations that have been generationally long to stop them, of course, around the world, and then, of course, Russia, Ukraine, the Gaza situation. But the message is the same in every instance, Bill. It's that the war and violence in the military does not solve the problems. We have proof that it doesn't solve the problems. That will be the case in any part of the world, certainly in this part of the world. And the fact is, I'm proud, we should all be proud of the fact that we are leading this argument to the world that the status quo, wars without end, are no longer acceptable. And I'm not going to comment on the nature of India's decision making or Pakistan's, but I know our decision making is to make sure these things stop without carnage.
All right, Tammy, let me get to another important issue here. Yesterday,
there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And you heard them comparing the nuclear weapons that are available to Pakistan and India, because there is major concern about nuclear weapons because they do not hold the same type of restrictions that we see with the United States or Russia or some of the nuclear powers on Earth. And these two neighbors, they are conflicting right now, and there's major concern that this could escalate into nuclear war, and that's why there's a lot of speculation about nuke attacks, World War III, as you heard from the video footage that I just shared with you. But let's take a look at some of these articles. I've got some more video footage that's going to give us some more information here coming out today, May 7th, 2025. But let's take a look at the concern for nuclear weapons. As it says, India and Pakistan's nuclear arsenal compared. And we're going to dive into the details of this so that way you can see it for yourself. Now, scrolling down here, it says, amid escalating tensions between India and Pakistan, fears of nuclear conflict are mounting as both nations possess nearly 200 nuclear warheads and continue to modernize their arsenals. India, which has long adhered to a no first use policy, so they follow a no first use policy, has recently signaled possible reconsideration, while Pakistan, which has no such policy, maintains the right to strike first. So they're concerned that Pakistan could utilize these nuclear weapons that they have, and that India might change its no first use policy. So here's why it matters. Concerns about the potential for nuclear exchanges have intensified following a sharp uptick in hostilities. Last month, gunmen ended the lives of 26 people, mostly Indian tourists, in Indian-controlled Kashmir. In response, India launched airstrikes on 9 sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied locations, claiming that they were militant staging grounds. Pakistan said the strikes hit civilian areas and has issued an ultimatum warning of further action unless Indian occupations cease. Now, here's what to know. India has about 172 nuclear warheads, while Pakistan possesses roughly 170, according to the Arms Control Association. Despite their similar numbers, the countries diverge in nuclear doctrine. India publicly maintains an NFU doctrine, pledging to use nuclear weapons only in retaliation. However, recent rhetoric from Indian leadership has hinted at revisiting that stance. Pakistan has never adopted a similar policy and reserves the option of preemptive use. And here you can see India and Pakistan's nuclear warheads compared. You can see India with 172, Pakistan with 170. The tactical capabilities of these nations. India holds the advantage in missile range and strategic deterrence. Its Agni V ballistic missile can reach up to 8,000 kilometers, enabling strikes deep into enemy territory. Pakistan's longest-range missile under development, the Shaheen-3, has a reach of about 2,750 kilometers. Pakistan also deploys tactical nuclear weapons, including the Nasar Hataf-9, a short-range missile with a 70-kilometer range designed for battlefield use. Military strength, India outpaces Pakistan in active military personnel, 1.24 million in the Army, 149,000 in the Air Force, 75,500 in the Navy. Pakistan has about 560,000 Army troops, 70,000 in the Air Force, and 30,000 in its Navy. India also operates at a 13,350 strong Coast Guard as well. So here's what people are saying. Pakistan Defense Minister Mohammad Asif warned, if India backs down, we'll definitely wrap up these things. These are not hostile acts. We are just defending our territory. India's defense minister in a statement said, our actions have been focused, measured, non-escalatory in nature. No Pakistan military facilities have been targeted. India has demonstrated considerable restraint in selection of targets and methods of execution. U.S. President Donald Trump said in the Oval Office, they have been fighting for many decades and centuries. If you really think about it, I just hope it ends very quickly. So here's what happens next. With both nations refusing to back down, the risk of further escalation remains high. Diplomatic efforts will likely intensify in the coming days, but experts warn that without de-escalation, even a limited conflict could spiral into a devastating nuclear confrontation. And there you have it, you guys. That is the major concern right now. Are we going to be going to nuclear war? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If yes, put yes. If no, put no. But you can see the headlines coming out here that there is major concern of potential nuclear war. They're saying that this could be a high probability if things escalate due to the limited policy of Pakistan and India, saying they're really reconsidering right now their policies of no first use because of what is currently unfolding. Now, let's take a look at some more video footage so that way you can get more updates of what is coming out today, May 7th, 2025. Take a look at this video footage.
Fox News alert India launching military strikes into Pakistan after more than 24 civilians were killed in a terror attack in Indian administered area of Kashmir last month. President Trump responding to the move.
It's a shame. We just heard about it just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quickly.
Well, we know this terror activity there. We're no strangers to that. Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs saying, quote, India acts of aggression has resulted in a martyrdom of civilians, including women and children. India's reckless action has brought two nuclear-armed states closer to major conflict. Pakistan reserves the right to respond appropriately at a time and place of its choosing. Here to react, former Secretary of State, Fox News contributor Mike Pompeo. And Mr. Secretary, I also add that they shot down two Indian planes. We've been unable to confirm that. Your thoughts about this long-time friction?
Brian, good morning. Yeah, this long-time friction since the division was created back in 1947. There's no doubt about that. They've been at this across this so-called line of control in the north of India, where the border between India and Pakistan exists in Jammu and Kashmir. I dealt with this in 2019. We had a very similar situation. Both countries thought the other was moving towards rolling out their nuclear weapons. We were able to use really good diplomacy, American military influence to shape it and de-escalate. I hope the Trump administration and, frankly, others in the region, India needs support from China, so does Pakistan. There are others in the region who have the ability to shape and influence this. We do not need escalation in this fighting with two nuclear-armed nations.
Right. Do you think we should get involved right away?
Yeah, involved. We should be talking to both sides, making clear to them that it is unacceptable to continue this.
Okay.
We should help them identify what happened. There were terror attacks into India. No nation's going to allow that to happen in their own country without a response. We wouldn't let that happen here, so that's appropriate.
Right.
But we need to let cooler heads prevail, and we have the diplomatic capacity and the capacity to shape how they're thinking about this to, I think, encourage them to keep a lid on this thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about the news. It was pretty surprising when President Trump said this about the Houthi rebels who we've been bombing.
So there you have it, you guys. So there's also stuff going on with the Houthis, but right now we're hearing that there are major warnings about potential nuclear war and attacks going on with India and Pakistan. And Donald Trump, as you heard him say, he is hoping that this is going to be ending very quickly here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this so you can see what Donald Trump had to say regarding this. And there's actually articles coming out saying that they believe that Donald Trump is going to be able to help broker some sort of an agreement to end this war. And again, let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is going to escalate? If yes, put yes. If no, put no. But here's this article coming out today, says that Trump is asking India and Pakistan to stop now as its tit for tat is done. Says he's ready to help. U.S. President Donald Trump Wednesday said that he wants to see India and Pakistan stop the ongoing tensions. It's so terrible. My position is that I get along with both. I know both very well, and I want to see them work it out. I want to see them stop. Hopefully they can stop now as they have gone tit for tat. So hopefully they can stop now. If I can do anything to help, I will be there, he said in his post. And here you can see this article showing that video clip. It says Donald Trump's fresh reaction came a day after India launched Operation Sindoor, targeting 9 terrorist bases inside Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in a tri-service operation. Donald Trump was one of the first world leaders to react to the operation. We just heard about it as we were walking through the doors of the Oval. They've been fighting for a long time. I just hope it ends very quickly, Trump said earlier. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on the little bit of that past, Trump said. U.S. Secretary of the State Marco Rubio issued a statement saying that the U.S. was monitoring the situation. Rubio was briefed by Indian NSA Ajit Doval soon after the operation was launched. Now, the White House later said that Rubio spoke with his counterparts from India and Pakistan, encouraging both sides to engage in discussions to settle an escalating military confrontation. He is encouraging India and Pakistan to reopen a channel between their leadership to defuse the situation and prevent further escalation. And U.S. National Security Council spokesman Brian Hughes in a statement. Now, the U.S. mission Wednesday issued a travel advisory for Pakistan advising the U.S. citizens not to travel to Pakistan. We are aware of the reports of military strikes by India into Pakistan. This remains an evolving situation, and we are closely monitoring developments. U.S. citizens are reminded of the do not travel advisory for areas in the vicinity of the India-Pakistan border and the line of control due to terrorism and the potential for armed conflicts. And the U.S. Department of State reconsidered travel advisory for Pakistan generally, it said. So the United States is saying they are here to try to help broker some sort of an agreement, and they are issuing a do not travel warning to Americans. Now, this comes at a time when we are hearing there are concerns, as I mentioned, of nuclear war and World War III. Here's another one coming out just yesterday when this all started happening. World War III fears as India fires missiles at Pakistan, pushing rivals to nuclear brink. India fired multiple missiles into Pakistan as loud explosions were heard around the city and other areas as the neighboring nuclear powers edge closer to all-out war. And again, we covered their nuclear arsenal, and they are saying that this could happen if things escalate. Now, a flashpoint for World War III has erupted as India fired a barrage of missiles at Pakistan and the disputed Kashmir region, pushing the nuclear-armed rivals to the brink of all-out war. In the city, The capital of Pakistani Kashmir was rocked by multiple explosions. Massive detonations were also reported in 2 other locations within the region. Following the blasts, Muzaffarabad plunged into darkness as power was cut off. Pakistan's military swiftly confirmed the attack, accusing India of a deliberate missile strike and warning of impending retaliation. At least 8 people, including a child, have lost their lives. This comes after already hostile ties between neighboring India and Pakistan have nosedived to a new low after the religiously targeted attack in Jammu and Kashmir's in which 26 tourists, including 1 foreign national, were shot and lost their lives last month. An Indian government spokesperson said a little while ago the Indian Armed Forces launched Operation Sindoor, hitting terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, from where terrorist attacks against India have been planned and directed. Now, in addition to that, we're hearing that this could be all-out war. Take a look. This is also going to be linked in the description below. Pakistan calls India's strike an act of war and claims it shot down an Indian fighter jet. Indian sources say the country is now pushing for de-escalation, however, so hopefully we're going to be seeing some form of de-escalation, but right now they're saying there's concerns that this could spiral out of control into some form of escalation. Pakistan is calling airstrikes launched by India an act of war as of Wednesday today, with its military claiming it shot down 5 Indian fighter jets in retaliation. The strikes targeted at least 9 sites where terrorist attacks against India have been planned, India's defense ministry said. Now, Pakistan's military said the missiles hit 6 locations in Pakistan-administered Kashmir and in the country's eastern Punjab province, ending the lives of 26 people, including women and children. Pakistan has every right to give a robust response to this act of war imposed by India, and a strong response is indeed being given, the prime ministers had declared. Tensions have soared between the nuclear-armed neighbors since an April attack in which gunmen, 26 people, lost their lives, mostly Indian Hindu tourists, in the India-controlled portion of Kashmir. India accused its neighbor of being behind the attack, which was claimed by a militant group calling itself Kashmir Resistance that India says is linked to the Lashkar-e-Taiba, a disbanded Pakistan militant group. Now, Indian military officials said Wednesday that their forces targeted terrorist camps that served as recruitment centers and weapon storage facilities for these locations, another Islamic militant group said. Indian sources from Fox News, the country is now pushing for de-escalation following the strikes. The trigger was the terrorist attack. We had the right to respond and we responded. For us, that's where this particular matter ends, official sources said. What Pakistan does now is up to them. The official source described communications with U.S. officials as fast and smooth, saying, "We have had overwhelming support from the administration, senators, and members of Congress." The official source cited more than 40 senators posted on X condemning the April 2022 attacks, and that 180 members of Congress did as well. Lieutenant General Ahmed Sharif, Pakistan's military spokesperson, said that the country's Air Force shot down 5 Indian jets in retaliation. The Indian source would not comment on those claims, saying India is still assessing the situation. 3 planes fell onto villages in India-controlled territory, and there was a heavy exchange of fire between the sides, the Associated Press reported. At least 7 civilians were also losing their lives in the region by Pakistani shells, Indian police and medics said. Now, debris from one plane was scattered across Woyan village on the outskirts of the Kashmir's main city of Srinagar, including in a school and a mosque compound, police and residents said. There was a huge fire in the sky. Then we heard several blasts also, Woyan resident Mohammed Yusuf told the Associated Press. Another aircraft fell in an open field in a nearby village. Residents of that area told the Associated Press that he had heard massive blasts and saw a huge fireball. We found the 2 pilots at some distance in injured condition. They were Indian pilots, and soldiers took them away, he said. India's military said the strike Wednesday was a part of Operation Sindoor. So there you have it, you guys. We are hearing that this is escalating at this time. Now we're hearing that India is saying that they're done, that they've already done their attack as a result of the terrorist attack that took place, and that could be the end of it. But we're hearing that there is going to be a tit for tat back and forth. Donald Trump is calling for this to stop, said that they need to de-escalate immediately, and that he is here to try to broker some sort of an agreement if it is possible. But there are major concerns about those nuclear arsenals being tapped into, and potential, like I said, escalation, and the term World War III is being thrown around across the news media headlines. So we will see. And again, let me know your thoughts now that we've got the latest information coming out today, May 7th, 2025. Do you think that this is going to de-escalate, or do you think there's going to be war? If you think there's going to be war, put WW3 in the comments. If you think no, put no. Let me know your thoughts. Donald Trump is saying that he is going to be pushing to try to de-escalate these generational wars. You heard that in that video footage, but there also is concern about the nuclear arsenals and the lack of policy on Pakistan with the ability to just strike if they feel necessary. So we will see. I will keep you guys up to date on everything so you know exactly what is going on. But that is the latest. Tensions are rising around the world. We're going to be seeing where we go from here. So thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? I'll keep you up to speed on everything. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And as more comes out, I'll be sure to share it here on the channel. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless.